Take 3. What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that yesterday I was having a hard day and I tried to film this video twice in a row, back to back. I sat down at my pumping chair, had Van, and I thought I had pressed record both times, and it just did not end up happening. So that's probably a good thing because I was very emotional yesterday. I literally cried 5 times about this situation. I'm about to update you guys on my breastfeeding journey, and this just in, breastfeeding is so difficult. I'm gonna be stuffing my cloth diapers because I am a busy woman these days, and things just, if you don't get to it, they start piling up. So I got quite a bit of diapers here, so I just thought I would stuff the diapers and chat and give you guys an update. If you're new here, I'm Jordan. I'm a new mom. My little guy Van is now 3 months old, which is insane. And I just want to apologize at my consistency. It's just been really tough. Getting into that natural type schedule has been a challenge. I mean, the first month of newborn life, postpartum, had a tough go of it for the first 2 weeks for my healing and all that. And then we were feeding literally like every hour. And then, you know, come to find out, insert the first breastfeeding video. So if you haven't watched that, go ahead and watch that. Backtracking to my first video, I went to the feeding clinic and I had to start supplementing him with donor milk. I'm so thankful to my friend. She gave me so much milk and I was able to get a freezer stash, about 180 ounces total for the month and a half she was donating milk to us. So I'm like forever grateful for her, because if I didn't have that freezer stash right now, I'm already sweating it, but if I didn't have that to help me out a little bit, I would just be even more stressed out. My lactation consultant put us, I'm supposed to give 2 ounces of donor milk after each feeding. So it was kind of hard to get into a schedule after feeding pretty much constantly. So we started feeding, getting a groove every 2-3 hours, and we're actually still feeding 2 to 3 hours. I was giving him probably around 8 ounces or so a day, maybe a little more, a little bit less, depending on the days, right? So he was gaining weight all through the appointments. On May 11th was the first feeding clinic, and he was still birth weight 813. He is now 12.4. So he's been gaining weight, but he still could use a little more weight. So I'm really watching it, really keeping an eye. His last doctor's appointment was June 17th, and he was 11 pounds, 7 ounces. She said, you know, he obviously is gaining weight, but he could stand a little bit more. The very next day is when we ran out of my friend's donor milk. So I went on Facebook and I got some donor milk from a girl. So we got this girl's milk, and after every bottle, he would just be fussy and cry and cry. So I don't know what the deal was. It just didn't work out. So I started supplementing him with my freezer stash because it was still like a week until his tongue tie revision. Then we get to the tongue tie appointment. We get him revised, everything, and literally that day after the appointment, we get sick. It was 99% COVID because we were around someone who had it. It was a tough go of it because he was recovering from the tongue tie, and then I was trying to get his temperature under control and get him past that. I'm just gonna stand here and not fold the diapers. Oh well, whatever. I was hoping to only have to nurse after his revision and not do the supplementing anymore, because, you know, I was like, oh, the tongue tie revision will help this problem magically, right? Wrong. So he got sick, and I didn't want to just only nurse before I went to the feeding clinic again to make sure everything was working fine and he was doing okay and he would like be able to sustain with just nursing only. So I was pumping and giving him everything that I was pumping, you know, obviously so he get antibodies and so he wouldn't get dehydrated. That was the main thing. Like, I did not want him getting dehydrated. Thank God I continued doing that, because then we go to the feeding clinic. You know, he's gained weight obviously, but he should be a little heavier, because when I went to the doctor about 2-3 weeks before that, she said he should gain half a pound a week. And that would make him, he should be like half a pound more at least. So he wasn't, so I'm glad that I still kept pumping and giving it to him because he needed it. But we go there, and come to find out, the tongue tie, yeah, it helped loosen up his mouth, but he still he still thrusts with his tongue. So it's like, here's the nipple and he's still like trying to push it out, instead of what he's supposed to do is like do the wave and pull the milk in. His suck sucks. So I have to suck train him. So on top of the routine where I breastfeed him and then I supplement him with a bottle and then I pump. So I'm supposed to do all that, and then I have to suck train him where I put my finger in his mouth and he sucks on my finger, and then I have to, the back of his tongue like humps up, which is why he flicks, and so I have to push that down, teach him to wrap his tongue around the nipple. He loves that. Obviously he doesn't love that. You know, he'll tolerate it for so long. So I messaged my lactation consultant. I said, hey, what about a pacifier? I've been anti-pacifier this entire time. I didn't want to deal with nipple confusion, breast rejection, and ultimately I just didn't want him to get attached to a pacifier and have to take it away later on. So I probably shot myself in the foot with that. So that's great, because if I would have gave it to him originally, then I would have known like, hey, there's obviously his sucks, or maybe it would have trained him way earlier. She suggested the Philips Advent Soothie. So I went and got one and I tried to put it in his mouth and it literally catapults right out. So that's proof that his suck just sucks. Like he can't hold the pacifier in his mouth. So what I'm doing is I'm holding it in his mouth, and I have to hold it like 5-10 minutes before he'll actually like get the pattern of sucking to where it stays in there. He doesn't even really like that. It's just a lot, you know, on top of everything. So I have to supplement him 10 to 15 ounces of pump milk a day, which is stressful because literally I have to sit on the plug-in pump and pump like six to 7 times to get 10 ounces. So I've really been trying this past week, even before the feeding clinic, I was trying to get up in the middle of the night to do a pump so I could have, you know, a decent middle of the night pump, because I pump more in the middle of the night when I do that. So I hadn't been able to wake up. Every time I set my alarm, he would wake up. So I don't know if my alarm was waking him up and then him wanting to nurse. Luckily, last night I was actually able to get up for the first time. So hopefully that's a continuing trend. I set my alarm. I nursed him because he woke up, but then I was able to pull myself out of sleep and get up and pump. And I'm really thankful for that, because we're on a better note today, because I was having a really hard day yesterday. I cried like 5 times because I felt like I was very inadequate and I wasn't doing enough. It's stressful when you only are able to like make the bare minimum that he needs. And you know, I know that comparison is a thief of joy, but I will say it because I'm sure like I'm not the only one who has experiences like this. I was on Instagram and it was like an ad for one of those mom cozies, or I saw an ad and then some random like on the popular page or whatever, and they both like walking around the house, blah blah, emptying it, and they get like 10 ounces from one boob, and I'm like, it just like crushes your soul, because I'm like, I get like 10 ounces from both boobs after 6 pumps sitting plugged into the wall, because I've been fortunate enough, my cousin let me borrow her wearable ones, but I just don't get enough. I get maybe an ounce if I'm lucky, like an ounce and a half if I'm wearing it for like 30 minutes to an hour. So it's just hard. It's just very disheartening, but I'm giving it hell and I'm going to keep on keeping on. I know the importance of breast milk and I'm really trying to give him as much as I can, but if he's not growing adequately, then I'm going to have to continue doing this, plus maybe supplementing with other solutions. I'm just going to keep on keeping on, and we'll reevaluate if I can't, you know, sustain him. So I have a weight check this coming week to see how much he's gained like since last week, and hopefully it's, you know, that half a pound, because previously to me giving him 10 to 15 ounces, I'd say I was giving him like 8 extra ounces. So I'm upping it, and I'm really trying to give him more like 12 ounces. So I am like dipping into some of our freezer stash. So I'm really hoping like something changes. I'm praying God gives me an oversupply. Like I pray that literally every second of every day. So If you want to pray that too, I would really appreciate it. But that's what's up. That's what's going on. Just busy over here doing the mom and wife thing. With all this pumping, like, keeps me so busy, on top of, you know, keeping my house in order and doing the wife part and everything. It's just a lot. But, you know, it is my greatest joy too at the same time. Motherhood's just like irony all around. It's hard, but it's the greatest gift, you know? As always, give this video a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel because it really helps and supports me. It's free. It takes 2 seconds, so I'd really appreciate it. I will see you next time.